You guys don't need to worry about me getting revenge from Diddy. I've got 3 moves that make sure he'll never be able to come after me or my family. First, I personally reached out to the victims' legal teams. The real reason he's not getting out is those buried cases behind the scenes. I provided legal funding for 7 victims who had been silent for years and brought in the top criminal attorneys in the country. Second, I bought up every potential post-release business deal he had lined up. I planned this 2 years in advance, so by the time he got sentenced and still had hope of getting out, every partner had already cut ties with him. Third, I don't just have evidence, I've got backups. This is an entire minefield that's been buried for 20 years. I uncovered every secret from the last 30 years. With testimonies from the victims, we interviewed over a dozen people he tricked, threatened, or violated. You think that's harsh? No, he destroyed other people's lives for decades. I'm just making sure he spends a few extra years in prison for it. I'm not afraid of his people, not afraid of his threats. I know he's still in there fantasizing about a comeback, but the truth is, he's never coming back.
Is this real life? I feel crazy. The world is spinning around me. What's happening? You have 4 eyes. I have 2 fingers. Ah!
Clip 1. For years, the industry treated it as background noise. Clips laughed off, moments dismissed, questions that were never fully followed up. But now, with a new documentary from 50 Cent revisiting old timelines, those fragments are being examined again. What once felt like rumor is being placed back under the light. At the center of the conversation is Sean Diddy Combs, a man whose influence helped shape careers across the music industry, and Justin Bieber, a young star who entered that world at an unusually early age. This discussion is not about isolated clips or internet speculation. It is about power, silence, and how long certain questions can remain unanswered when too many people benefit from looking the other way.
Yeah, so as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, this gonna be yours. So every time you come to LA, it's a little dusty, but you know, go get the front shot of this.
Man.
Turn that out. Minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
Alright, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come down there, you gotta, you know, wear your seat.
I mean, I'm 15, you could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Not yet.
No.
Alright, 16.
You're not ready.
16.
Let's slow down. Let's slow down, Justin.
Okay.
Let's slow down, okay?
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours when you know, when you get 16. You're good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Alright.
Then, when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay. I get the mansion? Yeah. So where are we off to now?
Where would you like to go?
I mean, wherever you want to go. Where are we going?
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
We're going crazy.
Crazy.
I'm taking this out tonight.
What you wanna do? What you wanna do over the next 48 hours?
48 hours. Let's go. Let's just go get some girls. Let's go hang out with some girls.
A man after my heart. That's what I'm talking about, kid.
Justin Bieber's rise was often framed as a modern fairy tale. A teenager discovered online, suddenly propelled onto a global stage. Yet beneath the success was a more complicated reality, a minor navigating adult power structures with very little visible protection. Archival interviews and footage show Bieber placed in environments where influence, access, and fame outweighed clear age boundaries. For years, these moments circulated quietly online, often dismissed as eccentric celebrity culture rather than examined as potential institutional risk. The issue is not about one specific moment. It is about normalization. When an entire industry learns to treat blurred boundaries as ordinary, accountability becomes difficult to trace. When childhood intersects with power, who carries responsibility for the consequences?
Understand? You got people in the industry that's been saying for years, this man is having sex with underage. So now the federal government is looking at that like, yo, when is somebody gonna come forward? We got this information, this alleged information, but nobody's willing to come forward. Then they go on and say, yo, Shakur Stewart mysteriously dead. Supposed to be a self-inflicted wound. Person that had everything going for him in their life. Kim Porter dead. Somebody's car gets blown up. This guy is walking around threatening other actors, people. Somebody got to get involved in it. If it ain't the state, let it be the feds. Somebody got to stop him. He lucky that God given him the opportunity to be stopped while he's alive, then have to go to hell and face that shit. He got a chance to repent now, change his life.
You mentioned minors, and a lot of people have been trying to drag Justin Bieber into this situation because there's a lot of suspect looking videos with Diddy and Bieber in it, and they're making a lot of allegations.
For years, 50 Cent positioned himself as an outsider to Diddy's inner circle, claiming awareness of the environment while insisting he was never part of it. His comments were often dismissed as rivalry or personal conflict. But as public scrutiny around Diddy has increased, those older statements are being revisited within a different context. This does not validate every claim, but it changes how some people interpret the warnings. Sometimes criticism exists long before evidence becomes widely visible. The uncomfortable reality is that early alarms are often ignored when the person raising them is inconvenient. When the messenger carries conflict, the message itself becomes easier to dismiss. Diddy's influence extended far beyond music production. Over decades, he built a reputation as a gatekeeper, someone who controlled access to rooms where careers could accelerate overnight or quietly stall. Justin Bieber's proximity to figures with that level of influence reflected a broader industry pattern, where opportunity often flowed through powerful individuals rather than transparent systems. In such environments, mentorship and access can become intertwined in ways that are difficult to question openly.
I can buy you one also.
Got me a Lamborghini.
That's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Well, apparently not.
Something, everything ain't for everybody.
Do you believe the guy in the tape is white?
If he's bigger than Diddy, and he's not none of the names that I said, probably so. But then they say he was young too.
Yeah, they say he was young.
Let me get his name right. I hope it ain't the Bieber. I hope it's not the Bieber.
That's a good one. It might be him. But if they saying that the guy is young and he's an A-lister, I can't think of that many black people, man.
Right. Not at all. And somebody that's more powerful, more of a celebrity than Diddy. You understand what I'm saying? If they were saying somebody that was more celebrity than Diddy. He was an A-lister. He was younger. You know what I'm saying? And if he's not black, it would have to be the Bieber. That's his name, Bieber? They said I got that wrong too. Justin Bieber, allegedly. I don't know, bro.
Right. But when you heard the news that Diddy, he had a tape with another man, did that catch you by surprise or no?
Well, all this shit is by surprise to me. A lot of this shit is by surprise to me, to be totally honest, man. Because I knew Puff, I knew Puff Daddy.
The concern raised by observers is not limited to private interactions. It also involves the absence of visible oversight in environments where young artists were present. When career advancement depends heavily on proximity to authority, boundaries can become negotiable. The system begins to prioritize opportunity over caution. In those conditions, an important question emerges: who has the authority to say no, and what happens to the people who try?
Before he was Love and Brother Love and back to Diddy. So, no, but the diddler, he's the diddler now. A lot of it's surprising, but it's not unheard of. Because you hear of all kinds of shit, and whether it registered with you or you internalize it or something like that, that's a whole nother story. But a lot of this stuff is crazy. But this is the world that we live in now, man. That these individuals thinks is all right. Bruh, when does it comes all right to be sitting there eating food off a naked woman? When did we start doing what they do? Let's keep it a buck. When did we start doing what they do? These guys is popping pills. These got Jay-Z dancing with a chick that's...
Long before Justin Bieber entered the spotlight, Usher publicly described being introduced to Diddy's world as a teenager. In later interviews, he reflected on being exposed to adult environments at an early age. That history matters not because it confirms wrongdoing, but because it establishes a precedent. When similar pathways appear across generations, coincidence becomes harder to accept as a complete explanation. If discomfort was acknowledged once before, the question becomes why the system continued unchanged for the next young artist.
Might make you change your mind. Look at Lil Nas X. He fizzled out fast too.
So would you say someone like Justin Bieber is a victim? I just seen he is reportedly selling his whole catalog because he's broke.
Yeah. Yeah. And once he finishes getting that money, I don't understand why he's broke. He didn't have to be broke. Usher just wouldn't stop robbing him.
Damn.
I mean, Usher couldn't keep his hands out of his pocket. It's funny. He got him signed and turned over custody to Diddy. Boy was never the same, and neither was Usher's pockets, because Usher's been living off of Justin Bieber's money. He ain't been living off of his own. Because the truth is, Usher don't really make that kind of money. And I'm really just kind of sick and tired of Usher reigning.
Yeah,
I'm really kind of disgusted with Usher reigning, who does Greek wrestling nude with men over Frosted Flakes, allegedly. Like, I'm sick and tired of this guy who everyone knows got the Diddy bumps, who's been sued for passing them on and lost, is still sitting there disgracing women in front of their men who bought the tickets to like that whole scheme.
He's causing a lot of divorce courts.
But why? He don't even want them. He don't want them women. He's literally doing it just to destroy relationships.
As scrutiny around Diddy intensified in recent years, many celebrities who once shared proximity to him chose not to comment publicly. At the same time, 50 Cent continued speaking openly. That contrast reveals an unspoken equation inside entertainment industries. Speaking carries risk. Silence preserves relationships. Loyalty can easily become indistinguishable from self-protection. The issue is not necessarily cowardice. It is calculation. In environments where careers depend on alliances, truth sometimes competes with survival. When silence becomes the safest option, accountability becomes much harder to reach.
Justin Bieber, and he was talking about Billie Eilish. And he was like, he was broke, almost in tears. He's like, I just want to protect her. I just want to keep her safe.
Yeah.
What do you think he went through?
Because he knows what's been happening to Billy. Just like everybody knew what was happening to Millie Bobby Brown girl with Drake. These people are monsters.
Real life. It ain't real life. Just say real life street stars. You know what time it is.
Jermaine Dupri said something interesting. He said the reason that R&B isn't as powerful as it is anymore is because children are going to church.
Yeah.
What is it about the transfer from the spiritual to the secular do you believe that's what made R&B so powerful?
Understand this. Rhythm and blues was a combination of gospel and soul music. Because soul music has always been around in one form or another. It's just evolved throughout the years. And you got gospel, rhythm and blues. That's what put that together. That's why they made such a big stink about the Ray Charles incorporating gospel sounds into secular music. Because they wanted people to separate the two. This is demon, this is good. The truth is none of that's real. There is no bad, there is no good. There is what is and there is what is not. And that's sad.
Justin Bieber himself has never publicly accused Diddy of criminal wrongdoing. However, his later reflections on fame paint a complicated picture of growing up inside a powerful system. In multiple interviews, he has spoken about anxiety, loss of control, and the emotional pressure of becoming famous at a very young age. He described feeling overwhelmed, surrounded by adults with competing interests, and lacking the maturity or tools to protect himself in those early years.
Against Diddy to the grand jury and had to give up 8 videotapes to the feds that contained celebrities in these freak-offs with Diddy, is now listing some of the names that he saw on these tapes. And this man said that he got these tapes from a very close friend of Kim Porter's, and these were Kim Porter's tapes that she was going to use against Diddy. And some of the names that he says are some that we have heard rumored over the years. He said he saw Justin Bieber on this tape and he appeared to be underage during this time. He also saw Usher on these tapes and Usher definitely appeared to be underage. And this one gave me the chills because we've heard that Usher is the one that sent Justin Bieber to Diddy. Courtney Burgess sat down with the Too Strong channel here on YouTube and started naming some of the celebrities that he saw on these tapes.
Were kids involved in these parties that you can verify from looking at the tapes?
If Justin Bieber was older than he's supposed to have been, yes. If Usher was older, well, Usher was definitely young.
Okay.
You understand? The shoulder part with his, the blood was all in his bed. You understand? It looked like they came home from a event, a party or something.
Went on to explain how Danny Boy was also in one of these videos with Mary J. Blige and Diddy together. And Danny Boy admitted when he was 15 that Mary J. Blige flew him out to New York and he slept with her while he was underage.
The implication is not purely legal. It is human. Trauma does not always arrive with a clear accusation attached to it. Sometimes it appears years later as emotional damage without a single identifiable moment. When harm is systemic, focusing only on individual incidents can miss the larger pattern. If an environment repeatedly produces the same kinds of struggles for young artists, the conversation eventually shifts from individuals to structure.
Mary J, Danny Boy, okay. You know what Danny Boy is? I heard that before. I don't, I've been so far away from hip hop, I forgot, but I have heard that name, Danny Boy.
Danny Boy back then, he looked like he was about 16. They both was about.
He also claimed that Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son, were in these videos, and he also said that there was photographs and videos of Diddy eating off of young girls.
Pictures or images of any of this stuff.
Yeah, I got Justin Bieber, Will Smith's son, whatever his name is. Other females on the table, they was young. He was eating off them. A lot of entertainments in there. I got calls from certain of them wanting to get the tape out of my hand. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about.
And I have said that if this man testified to the grand jury, the feds had to have some reason to bring him in to actually testify against Diddy. But y'all let me know what you guys think about this man naming all of the people on.
When Diddy's situation eventually entered federal court proceedings, the discussion moved from speculation toward documented legal process. Charges, investigations, and legal arguments narrowed what could be claimed responsibly while also opening broader institutional questions. Courts focus on specific actions, not on cultural systems. That leaves a gap between legality and morality. A legal outcome may address an individual case, but it does not automatically resolve deeper structural concerns. When the courtroom closes a case, the larger conversation often continues.
Think he has a mole or an informant in his camp that's cooperating?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Listen, bro. Just doing law enforcement myself, just take for instance. I think the individual was a Syracuse former basketball player named Jason Barnes or Beard or something like that. He already had drug charges against him. The day Diddy house get raided, they catch him getting on a plane and they put him into custody. Didn't that sound a little weird? People didn't catch that. They either put him in custody for a couple of reasons. You understand? One, to make a witness out of him, or to safeguard him and protect him for anything that could happen to him, because they had already stated, allegedly, that he was some kind of mule for the people over there at Diddy's house. So now, with that information, that he was already known by the government for drug charges, wouldn't that be an individual that you use? I'm gonna give you something different. And I'm gonna give you something else that people don't even think. On the other day, I seen on the video that Puff had ran into Justin Bieber. They met up and he started tapping him as if he was searching him and see if he had some kind of device on. Did you see that?
Yep.
Check this out. What if the federal government have already talked to Justin Bieber? And Diddy did that on tape. That means in his mind, he think this person may be a witness, right?
The intersection of 50 Cent, Diddy, and Justin Bieber reveals something broader about celebrity ecosystems. Power tends to concentrate upward, while risk often flows downward. Youth is marketed as authenticity, access is framed as mentorship, and silence is often rewarded as professionalism. This story does not claim certainty. Instead, it points toward patterns that appear repeatedly across generations of artists. If the same conditions continue to produce similar outcomes, the question eventually shifts. At what point does the system itself become the subject of investigation?